All right, welcome back. It's Saturday afternoon still at my teaching studio. I'm in Northern Kentucky. My name is Lou Larson, a professional guitar teacher. I've been teaching for about 20 years. And today I want to talk a little bit about what makes bar chords difficult to play. Why are bar chords so hard and how can we fix them? So I have a plan. I've been teaching for a long time. I had to solve this problem for myself. I've been making videos on my YouTube channel, and a big part of my idea with the videos is that I'm trying to make the videos that I wish that I could have found whenever I am trying to solve, when I was trying to solve these problems. Of course, when I was trying to solve these problems, YouTube either was in its infancy or hadn't been invented yet. But I'm still trying to give really good information. I'm trying to avoid, I want to be really honest about stuff. No trickery, like master bar chords in 3 minutes, or I'm going to show you this trick that saves you 30 years of practice. I think that developing really good techniques, understanding the vocabulary, and having good understanding of the concepts, it really allows you to play guitar. I love teaching. I'm really lucky. My teaching studio is very busy. And one of the things that I'm so excited about is that my students, they learn how to play guitar. They're solving the problem. People just don't play songs. They're not just playing songs. They're actually learning how to play guitar. And I know that when I first started playing, I played a lot of songs, and I have people that come in and they're working on really hard songs. And I always kind of joke about it, but I have this analogy. I had said that one of my students was a newer guitar player, and he was trying to play Eruption by Van Halen, which is a pretty hard song to play, high level technique. And he had this idea, which seemed kind of logical, that if he could learn how to play Eruption, he could learn how to play just about anything. He would have the skills to do it. And then my joke was, at that time, my daughter was around 5 years old. And I had said, yeah, I'm teaching my daughter how to read. I'm having her read War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. That it's one of the longest books ever written. I don't know if it really is, but I read that someplace. And he was like, well, that seems crazy. And I said, well, I figure if she can learn how to read War and Peace, that she'll have completely mastered reading. She'll be able to read anything. And then my student said, well, that'll never work. That's not how reading works. She should read, like those easy books, Watch Jane Go Up the Hill, stuff like that. And so as he was saying that, he realized how his idea of learning Eruption probably wasn't going to work out very well. So that particular student ended up being a really great guitar player. At the time of that the story I was telling, he probably was in his teens, and now he's probably in his mid-30s. He's moved. He doesn't live in this area anymore. And so success story for his playing. So whenever we're going to play bar chords, and this is what I'm talking about, that I'm going to try to give you some steps that you can take. And so the first step in solving the problem, if you're playing bar chords and you're struggling with playing them, or you're having pain in your thumb joint, in your hand whenever you're playing them, then this video is for you. We're going to do some steps. And the first thing we're going to do, and the easiest thing we can do, is we can improve your position, the way you hold the guitar. So whenever you're doing a bar chord, can you see how I'm holding the guitar? I have the guitar in the center of my body. I'm using a guitar strap. And so in my guitar strap, the way I have it positioned, I have the neck of the guitar elevated. So instead of the neck of the guitar being parallel with the floor, I actually have it pointed up a little bit. The reason why I have the neck of the guitar pointed up is because this way I don't have to twist my hand as much to try to get my finger to line up along the fret in order to press all 6 strings. This is one of the easiest things you can do. There's 3 or 4 ways that you can go about doing this. Okay, so there's multiple ways that we can easily improve our guitar position in order to make playing bar chords more accessible. The first thing you can do is you can just move your guitar over to your left leg. This puts it in the center of your body. You can tilt your headstock up. It keeps your elbow from being tracked against the side of your body, and that allows you to get a lot better leverage whenever you're playing. I'm going to talk about this. This is going to be step 2 as far as technique goes. But step 1, as far as holding the guitar better, you can put your guitar on your left leg. The other thing you can do, if you're playing acoustic guitar or classical guitar, you can use one of these guitar cushions. It's designed for classical guitar players. You know why classical guitar players use these? Because classical guitar, the music is super hard to play, and they will do anything to get a little advantage to make it a little bit easier. So you buy one of these guitar cushions, you can put it on your left leg, you sit your guitar on there, it puts your guitar in a much more comfortable and easy position to play. You actually can also put it on your right leg, and you still get it in a more comfortable position. If you have it in your right leg though, you need to point the guitar way out from your shoulder, because you need to have room for your elbow to swing past your body whenever you're playing your bar chords. The third option is a footstool. Again, classical guitar players use these. You know why classical guitar players use them? Because they don't use guitar straps, and they play music that's really hard. So they use this footstool, they put their left foot up on the footstool, and they put their guitar, and now the guitar's higher, the neck is pointed up, they have room for their elbow so they can get really good leverage, and their finger lines along the length, lines across the string parallel to the frets. So that's guitar position. The other part of the guitar position, I'm going to put my footstool away. The other part of guitar position that's extremely important is that when you're holding the guitar, you bring your right arm over the body of the guitar, and you pull the body of the guitar in tight against your rib cage. The reason why is we need to control the guitar. If you're trying to do a bar chord and your guitar's all wobbly, you're going to try to squeeze the neck really hard with your small muscles in your fingers, and it is not going to work out. You're not going to be able to do it. Your thumb joint's going to really hurt, and your bar chords are going to sound terrible. So now that we've talked about, we're assuming we're going to hold the guitar correctly. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen with our left hand. So when we use our left hand and we're playing our bar, that I'm going to take my index finger, and if you can see this, and this is very important, that my thumb, I have my index finger on fret 5. Well, I have my thumb behind fret 6. The reason why is my thumb is going to act like a fulcrum. Remember in science class when you learned about a seesaw, had the fulcrum, had the board over it, 2 people could sit on it, they would go back and forth. If one person was heavier, you could move the lever so the lighter person was on the longer side, and that would balance it out. That was like in the natural machines. We also learned about the inclined plane and the wheel and the pulley. So the fulcrum. So you know what the fulcrum is? The fulcrum is my thumb. So I have my index finger on fret 5, and then look at this. I have my hand turned. I'm playing on this edge. Can you see this? I'm playing on the edge of my finger. The edge of my finger is bony, and it's really good for pressing down the strings. The pad of my finger is soft, and while you can do bar chords with the pad of your finger, you have to squeeze really, really hard to get through the sort of soft tissue, and this can cause both pain in your finger and in your thumb joint. It can even radiate up into your elbow. I had some pain in my elbow. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my index finger, I'm gonna put my index finger as close to the fret as I can get it without touching the fret. I'm gonna roll my hand over so that my thumb, so the top of my finger is rolled over closer to the fret, and then I'm gonna put my thumb 1 fret higher. Now look at my elbow. Then I'm gonna swing my elbow in towards my body, and this is gonna act as the fulcrum. But this is only a part of the solution, because really the majority of the energy that comes for me to do my bar chords is the weight of my arm. I pull back into the guitar. And so I did a video about elbow and thumb pain, and I really went into detail demonstrating there's an exercise that you can do, and it teaches your brain to move the energy that you're using to do the bar, to move it away from the small muscles in your hand, and then to move it to the large muscles in your elbow, your bicep, and your shoulders. And the exercise looks like this. It goes, and I do one finger at a time. So I'm going to go fret 5, and my thumb is off the back of the neck. This is terrible technique to play with my thumb off the back of the neck. Why would I be doing this? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my brain to engage the larger muscles. And so I'm going to just practice a little bit with my thumb off the back of the neck, engaging the larger muscles. And then whenever I'm really playing, I'm going to use my thumb in the fulcrum to really have some finesse and hopefully help me relax and be able to press down all 6 strings without it being super difficult. The exercise goes like this. I go finger number 1, I start on string 6, and I go string 6, fret 5. Thumb is not touching. String 5, fret 5. String 4, fret 5. Then middle finger goes to fret 6. Only my middle finger's playing. I go string 6, fret 6. Fret 5, fret 6. Fret 4, fret 6. You see, my thumb is not touching the back of the neck. I'm doing all the work by pulling with the weight of my arm and my bicep and my shoulder. Third finger, fret 7. String 6. String 5, string 4. Finally, my fourth finger, this is the hardest one, this one will really pay good dividends. You learn how to do this, your brain will really start learning how to put the workload of doing the bars into your larger muscles. So I'm going to go string 6, string 5, string 4. Now I'm going to move to the next group of 3 strings, which is strings 5, 4, and 3. And I'm going to go a little faster. So I'm going to go 5, middle finger, third finger, fourth finger. Now I'm going to do 3, I'm going to do 4, 3, and 2. So I'm going to go strings 4, 3, 2, fret 5, fret 6, 4, 3, 2. And then finally, the 3 thinnest strings. 3, 2. So, we're holding the guitar well. We're going to recoup. We're going to I'm going to review what elements of good technique are. So, I'm going to have my finger as close as possible to the fret that's going to do the bar, because whenever I play the notes, remember, I press the strings down against the fret. That's what I'm trying to do. Not press them against the wood of the fingerboard, but the actual fret. So the closer I am to the fret, the easier it is to do. So I'm going to start with my finger close, and I'm going to rock my hand so my finger rolls out some. I'm going to use my thumb as a fulcrum. It's going to be on the higher fret, so it's going to be between the body of the guitar and my finger. I'm going to pull back with my elbow. I'm going to control the body of the guitar with my arm coming over the top. So this is basic technique that we use. And it, whatever your different chords that you play that have bars. So the next thing that we want to talk about, which is step 3, is that it could be that if your bar chords are extremely difficult and you've already incorporated holding the guitar well and developing good technique, that maybe your guitar needs to be set up, or possibly it has really, really heavy strings or a lot of fret wear. All of these things can really make bar chords extremely difficult. The most common thing that I see, though, with people whenever they come in for lessons is that their guitar is just out of adjustment. A lot of times they purchase the guitar, they have it and they play it, and they don't notice as they're playing it. A lot of times, periodically, you need to make some adjustments to the neck as temperature and humidity changes. And sometimes the neck will have what's called too much relief. And too much relief is the neck, instead of being straight, it's got a little bit of a curve, and this can make the strings really far away from the frets, and it can make it really, really hard to play. It can make it really hard to play bar chords. The other thing is, and you can determine that, you can measure what's called the action. And the action is the distance from the top of the fret to the bottom of your string. Whatever guitar you have, you can look on the internet, and you can, the manufacturer will have specifications for what that distance should be. Another thing that I see a lot, sometimes brand new guitars come from the factory. This white plastic part down here, it's called the nut. A lot of times I see that they come from the factory, and that what we would call the adjustments, that's the slots that the strings fit in, that the slots are not cut properly, that they aren't deep enough, and that makes that the string too far away from the fret, especially at the first fret, can be super hard. So if you're trying to play an F chord and you're struggling with that, that is one of the, it surprises me how frequently I see that on guitars. I've seen it on expensive guitars, but I see it a lot on lower priced introductory level guitars. It's very common because at the factory, whenever they're cutting the slots for the frets, if they cut the slot too deep, that's a big problem. They have to take the nut back off of the guitar, and then they either have to make an adjustment to it by adding filler or make an entirely new nut. So they always, it seems to me that they always have a tendency to leave the nut a little bit too high instead of going, because if you go a little bit too low, the guitar won't play properly. The string will hit against the first fret. It'll make a buzzing noise. So that's the nut of the first fret. You have the bend of the neck, which is relief, and then you can also adjust the action. I know for my students, I always ask everybody to bring their guitar in, especially on their first lesson. But if somebody says that they're having a difficult time playing it, I'm like, bring it in, let me see it. I can tell right away I've been playing a long time. So if you have questions about it, you can take it. I'd recommend an independent luthier. If you're in Cincinnati, I can recommend somebody, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. But if you're other parts of the country, you might have to do a Google search if you need to. Finally, the last thing that I want to talk about is that you can modify your equipment in order to make playing bar chords easier. Bar chords, people really struggle with these, and they're hard. And one of the analogies that I've used is that I've noticed it's similar to learning how to bowl or even hit a baseball. I think bowling is a good analogy because if you're trying to learn how to bowl, if you can start with a lighter ball, and having a lighter ball, it makes it easier for you to learn your approach, learn how to throw the ball. I'm not a very good bowler. I just know some real basic things. But I do know this. With a lighter ball, it's much easier for me to walk up, control the ball, release it, and feel like I have control. Now, one of the things, the physics of bowling is that when you use a heavier ball, the ball has a lot more inertia, and on impact, the pins fly around a lot more. So in order to get strikes, you need to use a heavier ball. Well, that's very similar to playing guitar. One of the things that I found is that I've had some students that play acoustic guitar, and they really struggled with they're struggling with bar chords. We made sure that their guitar was adjusted properly, everything was set up, and so a couple of options that I've done, we've switched to lighter strings than what came on the guitar from the factory, which made it easier to play. And then once they started to get comfortable with lighter strings, we were able to switch back to normal strings. Also, if you are struggling with electric, you can play electric guitar. If you're playing your bar chords, electric guitar usually is a lot easier to learn how to do the bar chords on. Electric guitars typically have modern taller frets. When the fret is taller, it's easier to do the bar. And electric guitar strings normally are considerably thinner than acoustic strings. So we would call that a lighter gauge. They're smaller in diameter, and when the diameter is smaller, then the tension is lower. And with the tension being lower, it's easier to push them down. And I've seen it a number of times. I've let people play my electric guitar in my studio, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so easy, and my acoustic guitar is so hard." And I'll say, "Hey, you might want to, if you have an electric guitar, play that one, or you might want to buy an electric guitar, or we can put really light strings on your acoustic guitar." And so, step one, you get so you can just do the bar chords with the light strings on the electric guitar, and then you're starting to develop the technique, and you're able to move back to whatever your regular guitar is. So also one option I haven't mentioned, because it's a really big modification to the instrument, but I've done this on some of my instruments. Actually, I do it on all my electric guitars, that whenever my frets get worn, because I play a lot, so I'll wear out the frets that have to be replaced, I always have them replaced with bigger frets that are considerably taller than what came from the manufacturer. I find that it's much easier to play, that I'm not a loner in those ideas, that most heavy metal guitars, or guitars that are designed, sometimes people will call those shred guitars, those guitars, they have big tall frets, because people that play those styles of music are really difficult to play. They're playing really fast, they're playing a lot of really hard chords, fast lines, and so they need every advantage they can get, so they go with the little bit taller fret. And same thing with ergonomic guitars. This isn't my only guitar. I often play Klein electric guitar. I own several guitars, and the best guitar I've ever played for sure is my Klein electric guitar. It has an ergonomic body shape, and multiple times I've let someone in my teaching studio that was taking lessons, that was struggling with trying to play bar chords, or sometimes even hard songs, I've let them play my Klein electric guitar, and they can play the song or the bar chords that they've been struggling with. The main reason that this works for them is because the Klein electric guitar has an ergonomic shape, and it doesn't matter whether you put it on your right leg or your left leg, that the headstock of the guitar is pointed up and it's in a comfortable place on your body. So, all right, hopefully this lesson is informative. If you look at my other videos, I often do really crazy long videos. I'm trying to get a little better and keep them a little shorter. I am over the moon excited. My goal was to get 300 subscribers, and I have way over 300, which is really great. That I love teaching lessons. I think I said this earlier. My goal in making these videos is to make the information available that I couldn't find. I'm trying to make the videos that I wished that I had available to me when I was trying to build my guitar playing skills. So if you have questions, leave a comment. I'll try to answer them. Right now I don't have that many subscribers, so it's not a problem for me to answer questions. If you have some subject that you think would be cool for me to make a video, leave that in the comments. I'll try to get some of that stuff going on. And please like and subscribe. I found out that liking and subscribing, it doesn't cost you any money, but it helps to boost my videos in the algorithm of YouTube, so more people watch them. And for me, having more views, it's going to encourage me to make more videos. So, all right, thanks for joining me on Saturday afternoon, or whenever you happen to be watching this.